Uh-oh.
Okay.
How could
Okay.
we forget, John? The Drow, it was left unbanned last game, wasn't picked up, though this time Mineski, they have already 4 range heroes, so why the hell not? As it stands, though, they are up against the Batrider, who does pretty well against Drow, and
Okay.
now a Spectre.
That's a great response. That is the response that we have seen really successfully against a Drow. If you manage to secure the Spectre lane, just put all your resources on the Spec, right? And delay the game as much as possible. You have the lineup for that great delay as well. All of these heroes really not requiring the biggest investment. You still need a bit of space in that Bat and Shaker, but the Winter Wyvern can kind of create that space by yourself in terms of at least disengaging so you won't lose too much. I like that Spectre response. Again, we've seen that in response to the Drow before. I believe in Europe, it's really where it's been popping out. But it works out well if you if you drag the game late enough, the Drow just can't do too much. That haunt is very abusable. You just haunt into the Drow, and suddenly she can't do too much. She can pop a silence, but with Spectre buildups, at some point they do have a Manta style. It's not going to be much of an issue. Mineski, sure, without Drow, it's really amazing with Avenge. That's a lot of damage and attack speed coming out in an aura. But if you take it too late, if you don't manage to get that great start as they did in Game 1, Boom ID does have ways of scaling.
I agree with your point, John. The only thing is, can Boom ID hold out that long? Right? Like, if they do leave it, we know Boom ID's got the draft. Right? They're going to win the late game more than likely. But Mineski, I mean, they had a fast finish last game already, and now they've got a Drow lineup, which indicates a lot faster of a finish. I suppose we're about to find out. It really depends again on that laning phase, and so far so good. Because Boom ID, they do have very strong laners in that Batrider and the Winter Wyvern just to support that Spectre, but the Batrider by himself is going to be perfectly fine. Still, how's this mid lane going to go, though? Boom ID, they haven't got a position 2 yet. What do you pick up here? Do you go back to the Razor? Perhaps. I mean, it is a pretty strong lane to have. But then you have plenty of options there for Mineski as well. I mean, they have gotten rid of the OD this time around at the very least, so if you do go the Razor route, you haven't got that OD to fall back on if you're Mineski. Still aren't many options.
I don't think it's going to be the Razor. It's not really going to have too much value against a ranged lineup. You're not going to get too much from that static link, and when you don't get much in their static link, it's kind of dead. They go with the Pangolier, so it's going to be a mid-bat. It looks like, at the very least. You could do the Pangolier mid as well. We've seen that a couple of times, but in this case, why not run the mid-bat, off-lane Pango, and safe-lane Spectre? Interesting choice. It is really disruptive in those team fights, and it does certainly give Boom ID a bit more in that early game, so they are kind of trying to really spread it out a bit. Just have a lineup that comes online early, except for the Spec, and buy space for that Spectre to grow big. Interesting if it's going to work out, because, again, Mineski does have that early aggression.
Would you really prefer to see the mid-bat, though? Like, the Batrider up against the Drow Ranger would be very nice to shut Mineski down in that lane, at least.
No.
More so than the Pango.
I don't think the mid-bat is great here. Like, the Pangolier is nice, but I expected, like, a mid that can kind of set the tempo, maybe just be a bit more mobile. The Storm would be interesting. I mean, it's still not great if you get caught by the Necrophos. That's going to be your biggest thing, but you can kind of jump the Drow and make her life living hell with something like the Storm. And we have seen that before. That silence is actually not as okay. Mineski goes for the Storm themselves, and that's a bit of an issue. Boom ID doesn't really have the best lockdown. I mean, they could try the lasso, but the Storm Spirit can just kind of jump to the specific heroes he needs. It's gonna hang on Jokam timing all his stuns to get the Storm Spirit. We have seen it before. Storm Spirits are not that easy to catch out if you don't have something like a Hex. They just tend to be a bit too jumpy. And Mineski might have enough room here to just go in and out, hunt that Spectre down early on.
There is the curse, though, as well, right? Like, I mean, I know it's not the best ability to catch out the Storm, but you can throw out the curse and just allow FBZ to walk in for the lasso.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like we've seen so many cases where theoretically you should hold the Storm. We've seen, what is it? The Chikiro, Sand King, and Drow together, trying to hold down a Storm and an Ember in some cases as well. And sometimes without that Hex, if your play is on point, you can kind of just dodge out. It's a bit wonky. It really, you have to invest so much to catch a storm. If you can, it's going to be worthwhile though. Like, as long as the Winter Wyvern manages to stop that storm and the follow-up is there, I guess you can call that worth. Shutting down the storm does mean he really doesn't have that snowball to play with, and Storm is a very snowbally hero. Like, he doesn't get that good start, he just kind of falls flat. Can't really, I mean, he can kind of farm the jungle, but it's really not as fast as something like the TA. Even the Drow kind of does it faster. All he has really is his mobility. And even then, it takes a lot of resources to make the Storm big. We have seen Storms with really good starts. And that gearing up after the initial item of maybe the Kaya, it just feels like you don't have anything to really pump up your output until you get something bigger, which takes a while for the Storm.
Let's see how it all pans out. Jesus, 2046 battle levels on Ninja Boogie. Very nice indeed once again. And there it is.
Ah.
There it is.
Yes. That's it. That's it. Harder. Harder what, Ninja Boogie? What's harder?
Harder pause, John. We need harder pauses.
Patience from Zone.
He must have slammed that pause button. Oh.
Uh-oh. Admin's getting involved now. Very scary. That's a Monk S right there.
You know, I really have to point out, this is probably the strongest Drow lineup we've seen in a while. Like, we haven't really seen, at least in China, we haven't seen that full investment in 5 ranged heroes to really maximize that aura. This is pretty well-rounded. You have the Storm, of course, and every single hero is ranged, and all of them will benefit from that aura. And you have the Venge as well to give them damage when they're together, so it is quite straightforward for Mineski. Their team fight, not the most amazing. They don't have great control in a wide area, and that could be where they fall flat. But in terms of raw right-click power, it is looking pretty scary, right? You have the Drow to speed up your attack speed, and when you're clumped up, you have that Vengeance aura from the Venge, and your damage really just shoots up fast. The push potential is amazing coming out from this lineup. It's just that, again, you really have to get space on that Storm. You have to give Moon a good start, and Boom ID is running a bit more of a well-rounded draft.
Uh-oh. Moon does break the smoke in time, so JoeCam won't be able to catch him out with the Fisher by surprise. He's going to continue the chase and does punch him once in the face. Fortunately, swings and misses. Jid. Coming up at that top lane, already understands he has to be very careful about going for those banner runes up top. There are quite a few heroes around him right now from Boom ID.
Patience from Zone.
You would have loved
I
to
want
see.
to point out something.
Yes.
I want to point out, Mike, it is going to be a mid-Pangolier, and we will have FBZ on the side lane as that bat, so mid-Pangolier up against Storm, not a matchup you see too often. It looks like the Pangolier should be able to at least find some creep waves, you know, with that swashbuckle. But I feel like the Storm should be able to pump out a decent amount of harass as well.
Raging. Thought he might have gone for the deny attempt on the bounty, but JoeCam will go ahead and pick it up. It'll be a 2-for-2 trade on those bounty runes. Ninja Boogie, of course, at the bottom lane. Go ahead and pick the other 2 for his team. I do like the fact that they put the Batrider in the off lane though, right? Because it just, I don't think it would have done as well as you would have hoped up against the Storm Spirit. I think the main concern here for Boom ID is just shut down the Drow, and if you can get that done, you're probably going to be laughing.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen Drows get that slow start, and when they do, it just really kind of feels underwhelming. Despite them even being able to recover in the jungle quite nicely, if they don't hit those timings, it just kind of falls flat.
Moon gets fished mid lane though. JoeCam. No real kill potential there, and in fact there were 3 heroes around Moon right now. They're just walking across the map, trying to get the lanes that they want on Mineski's end. So we are going to have a few lane swaps going on. So far, Raging Potato will be up at the top lane as that Prophet. And FBZ does stay in the off lane. Of course, bot lane, we do have Fervian on that Spectre. Ninja Boogie already sitting there, and KP moving his way over to try and shut down that Spectre. And actually, currently Arjit is the one going for the pull with the neutrals rather than going for the last hits. Raging Potato was taking those for a bit, but he'll return back into the lane now. It does feel like both teams seem to get what they want in the end with these lanes, though, because, I mean, Mineski, they wanted KP up against Spectre, whereas Boom ID wanted that bat, although Ninja Boogie will get caught out bot lane. A nice Fisher comes out from Jocam, and they will be able to find the first blood very early on in game number 2.
Yeah, it's a good start for Boom ID. They do invest in the tri-lane to get that done, but you really want to keep this Spectre running, right? You want to invest as much as possible to make sure your Spectre runs well. It's kind of the same deal with Mineski, except they're not putting as many heroes up here up top. You want Ajit to be able to find that early farm and really boost his team, but it's not going to be an easy time against the Bat. It's just not really. The Bat Rider as a hero can apply so much pressure, especially if you cop too many sticky napalm stacks. So you will have to kind of watch out if you are playing this route right now.
KP, bot lane, gonna get chased down. He does not have Ghost Form up yet, so there should be another kill going the way of Boom ID. They are gonna chase him down all the way. He does waste the Fairy Fire trying to survive, but KP could not do it. Now Ninja Boogie trying to turn around on Jocam, but no real kill potential there with just a Vengeful Spirit. That is a 2-0 for Boom ID. I believe they are doing a fantastic job. In fact, top lane Arjit getting chased down, and they will find it with FBZ. Raging Potato has to be careful. Just stands in the fire and starts right-clicking like a real man, but 3-0 now for the side of Boom, and this is really the start they wanted.
Yeah, again, just laning against the Bat Rider as a Drow is not the easiest time, and you're not really going to be able to get too much done if that Bat Rider's positioning is on point, and FBZ just finding that kill early on the Drow, and also finding those kills down bot lane. It's pretty big for the good start that Boom ID does want.
They are getting a fair bit of farm out onto Fervian on that Spectre now. KP. See if he does opt for the level 3 Ghost Form, because this is a very dangerous lane he's in, but generally speaking, you don't usually want to have to go for that at level 3. Still, he will hold on to his skill point for a while, just in case he does get ganked up. Though Jocam has actually rotated to the mid lane now as that Earthshaker, and he wants to apply some pressure on Moon. Of course, Moon's still sitting at that level 4 spot, so if they do land a very nice Fisher, Kodo might have the follow-up damage with the Swashbuckle. Only problem is, though, Jocam will get scouted out by Ninja Boogie and is forced to leave the mid lane.
Yeah, a bit of time wasted there for Jocam. Would have been really big again if they'd jumped Moon.
Ajit.
And keeping the Storm shut down would be big.
Ajit getting chased by FBZ, though. They do force the rotation out of Ninja Boogie now on that Vengeful Spirit. FBZ going to be fine. He'll probably be able to run away from Raging, although Raging's going to go for a TP play. Does cancel it. Still going for it, though. And does get juked out by FBZ for the moment. Doesn't have Sprout either. FBZ, though, a lot of time being wasted on this Bat Rider, just trying to run away from Raging. Ninja Boogie now will start the chase off as well. FBZ still not going to be allowed back in the lane. They are pincer moving him here. Raging going to find him. FBZ at that 5-minute mark as well. Not going to be able to claim those boundaries for his team. Raging, can he actually find this kill? No, he cannot. The Firefly will get started. FBZ going to go for the Shrine and now go for the kill attempt on Raging. Though Raging, again, going to stand in the fire. Does not care for the heat. FBZ eventually going to be allowed back in, though. Bot lane, KP now getting caught out. Does have the Ghost Form available, though. Will be able to walk out of there safely.
Yeah, once you hit level 4 on this Necrophos, it should be easier to sustain yourself. And he doesn't really need the Baby Slickman more so. Can kind of hold his own, which is great because, again, you want to be able to have those supports help that Drow. Now, Ajit not having the best time that lane is managed to play catch-up quite well, but still not the best spot to be in as that Drow.
Certainly isn't, and even... I mean, Moon, he's having a good old time on the Storm at the very least for Mineski. I thought he was struggling a bit against that Pangolier, but not so much. And look at FBZ at the bot lane. That is a massive stack. Fervian going to get so much XP out of this, though FBZ going to definitely claim most of the gold here. KP, though, comes in, and he steals a lot of creeps with that Death Pulse. Just perfect timing from him. It's probably maybe 200-300 gold he just got out of one Death Pulse, John. That was a big win for Mineski.
Yeah, disrupting that massive stack does slow down Boom ID just a bit. It's not the biggest loss in the world, but it's a huge gold influx that they really needed to help them out, especially the bat. They want to get those early items up.
Noon, he's got a double damage. He'll find one in Keskute, and now he'll go after Jokam, and Jokam cannot sustain that much damage coming in. Looks like Fervian has actually switched over to the top lane as well, up against Arjit, but that's very interesting indeed. I mean, do you really expect him to be able to get farm against Drow?
No. He should be able to at least find his last hits, but the Drow can trade hits quite easily, and at this point in the game, level 5, the attack animation is not as bad, especially with 2 points in precision, so should be able to try to contest for denies as well, though.
Nice fish shot. Arjit gonna eat through the tree line. It should be okay. There is a TP in from Raging Potato as well, though he cops a big punch to the face from Jokam, and now the train's coming out as well as the gust. They are gonna chase onto that Earthshaker. They don't find him though. Raging, he leaves Jokam alone. He's gonna make the chase now, and it looks like he will switch to Fervian. Jokam doesn't have a TP for another 40 seconds, though. Here comes the cavalry. Keskute gonna go after Raging Potato. He still has Arjit there with the ghost, or the gust, excuse me, but Raging Potato still gonna be chased down. He's been trapped up and he will go down, though. Ninja now will rotate in. Fervian, he's in trouble. There's the cold embrace, though. Jokam gonna loop back around with more HP and will go after Ninja Boogie, though. Fervian, can he really survive this? He's hiding in the tree line right now, and it looks like they haven't found him yet, though Ninja does give vision. Fervian still making a run for it, but he will go down in the end. At the very least, he does split the gold, and now here comes Raging Potato, gonna go after Jokam on that Earthshaker, though I highly doubt he actually finds the kill, but he does get the Sprout, and in fact, the trees come up now as well, but he will let the kill go.
Again, that's a massive amount of heroes just rotating where the Spectre is, and they still lose Fervian in the end. Not good news for Boom after a pretty spectacular start. This lane against the Drow, if both sides invest the same resources, I think the Drow still kind of wins out. It doesn't take too much gold for the Drow to be online, just EXP. And now that Arjit has that level 6, he should be dishing out the damage. You have to be really careful with your Boom ID in this lane.
Certainly does dish out a lot of damage, but still, they're going to keep the Wyvern around the top lane. Keskute just going to try and make sure the Spectre's alive. Nice little ward there in the top bounty rune spot. Actually, bot lane. FBZ. Be very careful with that that bottle, but he will get jumped up. Noon going to find him, and KP will reap a scythe. Nice pickup again from Mineski. That'll make it a 4-4, and at the very least, they have caught up in terms of kill score. They have also slightly got an advantage in the net worth for Mineski. Bot lane. There's a Rolling Thunder. It will come out. Raging, of course, has the TP. Oh, that Fisher. Jokam, what are you doing, sir? Walking off Makoto. That is a big waste of Raging Potato.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a waste, and they even rotated Arjit down, something they could have abused on Boom ID's side, but when you get blocked like that, you just kind of lose your momentum, so just gonna have to let that go. Arjit now can turn to that jungle for farm, which frees up lanes for the other supports to get something going, which means Raging Potato can get his levels and EXP going.
KP gonna be chased down in the bot lane. FBZ trying to find the last soul attempt, and he will find it, but the ghost form was also committed as well. Now Fervian comes in. KP's in massive trouble. That ghost form usage, probably not the optimal way to use it, but maybe perhaps he just felt like he needed to throw it out. Makoto now does find Arjit as well. Jokam doesn't get the Fisher off in time, and the gust gonna allow him to TP out in time. Boom ID, still, they found a very important Necrophos kill, but that Drow would have made it so much juicier. They will not find it in the end.
Yeah, a bit of a shame there. It looked like they might have been able to get more, but all they really get is KP, and if you are Mineski, you're not going to be too unhappy about that. Again, Arjit is still alive. He's back to farming that jungle. He still feels safe. And you're happy. Your Drow is getting the farm he wants. Your NP is having a good time up top. And everyone else is still doing okay.
Bot lane, there might be an attempt here from Moon. Thinking about jumping onto Fervian, but Fervian is actually looking decently tanky with those Wraith Bands, and now they do scout out Ninja Boogie. Again, no Fisher being thrown out quite yet. Looks like they do plan to stick around with this Storm at the bot lane for a bit, but Fervian is going to be fairly safe, and in fact, he does plant his flag.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, top lane, they do make a jump onto FBZ Moon. He'll go ahead and claim a kill on the Batrider. Now bot lane, Mineski look to get aggressive again, it looks like, but there are 3 heroes there. Jit, though, going to start stealing creeps. In fact, they found Ninja Boogie now, though he does throw out the stun. Jit's still available with the Gust, and there is a Nature's Prophet TPing in, though now KP as well will join his team, and they are going to go after Makoto. Rolling Thunder will not come out. Reaper's Scythe will get the job done, and now they want more. Jokam is going to be the target. The Sprout has been committed, and Jokam cannot sustain that much damage from the Drow Ranger. Boom ID, they will end up losing 2 more to the side of Mineski.
Yeah, we talked about Boom needing to hold towards that late game, but Fervian is just under constant pressure. Wherever he goes, Mineski goes as well. And I think that's really the right play, shutting down that Spectre's early farm, slowing down that progression to the Radiants, and wasting all the haunts they can. Really means that Mineski can buy that mid-game momentum they need to really start overtaking this map. They haven't taken any objectives yet, but they have set themselves up with a pretty solid net worth lead at 3k at 12 minutes in. Pretty good start for them so far.
Looks like FBZ does have a Haste Rune bottled up right now, so with that Haste Rune, he should be able to close the distance and find a pretty nice kill with the lasso. See how much advantage they take care of this. They do go under Ninja Boogie, though Flame Break will not connect, and now Moon zips in. They still have the lasso, but Vortex will come out. Moon cleans him up, and now Jokam, he can't even find the Vengeful Spirit. That is not great news. I believe he actually committed the Haste Rune he just had as well to try and get away. That is very unfortunate for Boom ID.
They held on to that haste for a very long time. They had the stuns on the Venge even before Moon came in, but they didn't commit. And that greed definitely killed them there. If they just lassoed immediately, got the haste off, you wouldn't have had that counter initiation from the Storm. The key thing was that, you know, right before Ninja Boogie was supposed to die, he got his stun off. And that bought the opening for Moon to come in.
We have a quick pause coming out from Boom. Of course, there are a few microphone issues apparently. I can relate to pretty nicely as well. Always microphone issues going on. What do you think about Boom right now? Like, they really are starting to fall behind in net worth. Moon on the Storm is making so much work happen as well. He's already found 4 kills across the map. You know Jit is farming very well on the Drow as well at the top of the net worth board. Are Boom going to be able to sustain through the mid game?
They really have to buy themselves some more time. If they can hold out to at least 30-35 minutes, that's when you would be very comfy. Fervian is still set to have a decent Radiance timing, maybe about 20 minutes, which isn't too bad considering the lane start he had, and honestly not too off the standard for Spectres that have a rough start.
Lasso top lane, but they have help there. Raging Potato, though, will end up losing his life, and midway there is a Raging Potato, excuse me, a Rolling Thunder. Ninja Boogie will end up falling down. Moon does manage to get away, so Boom ID, they do get a very nice couple kills for themselves. It looks like Mineski were actually trying to loop around to find that Batrider FBZ, but, well, they don't get it. That will give Boom a nice little boost on their side of things.
Yeah, and again, they are playing around that Haunt cooldown quite well. Fervian's Haunt just went off cooldown then. He pops it in the middle of that teamfight and gets something for himself. So you want to keep that pressure up if you are Boom. Just keep working around those cooldowns, maximizing what you can with the Spectre early on, and trying to give Fervian as much as you can possibly give a Spectre.
Well, both top lane and bot lane will be pushed down. Jit, he'll go ahead and claim the bot T1, and now Winter's Curse is there on Moon. Can they hold him down long enough? Reaper's Scythe will be there, stopping Jokam, but now the Echo, it will come out. The Gust is there from Jit, though they've already lost Jokam as well. They found what they came for. They just want to get out of there safely now. Makoto should be able to run out, though. No Sprout is there for Potato, and Makoto throws out the Rolling Thunder, but the swap ball is there from Ninja Boogie. So a 2-for-1 trade. On the brighter side of things, though, getting that Moon kill on the Storm Spirit is going to feel pretty nice for Boom ID.
Definitely so. They do manage to get a nice kill on Moon. They managed to save their Spectre as well, which overall in the end is all you really want right? You don't need anything else. You don't need any of those kills. Just save Fervian every single time, and you will be able to get something done for yourself, again, by that 25-30 minute mark. Just make sure Fervian can farm that Radiant sub 20, and you are still pretty much on a decent timing to your power spikes. Fervian's still not the closest to that Radiance, but again, once that's up, it's going to be a much harder time dealing with the Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, he just went and got 3 banner runes as well for Boom ID, so that is a nice little bonus to that team fight with Raging Potato mid lane. Gonna go in now. Moon jumps in as well, though. Nice Fisher is there from Jokam. Makoto just trying to back off. I don't believe he has Rolling Thunder available, and it looks like he will end up falling, and now Kesku, he'll be chased down as well. FBZ does not have a Blink Dagger yet, so he couldn't jump in and turn the team fight around, and that's going to mean a mid tier 1 tower now falling. In fact, that is the last tier 1 tower left for the side of Boom ID going down.
Yeah, that's really what you want to see from this lineup. It looks like they are going to group up in that Roche, but they are spotted out by the Radiant Ward, though.
Doesn't matter, though. I mean, they can't get in range in time, and look how fast the Roshan's going down. I think Mineski just don't even care if they have wards. Aegis is there now on Moon, and he jumps immediately. Kescute, he gets caught out. The Gus was there from Arjit, and he's gone as well. Moon, he wants to chase for more now. It looks like he has found the Earthshaker Jokam, and they want FBZ as well. The lasso was there onto Raging, but what the hell does it matter when you've already lost 2 heroes? You can make that 3 now as well. Mineski again, 7k net worth lead for them. They are well ahead of Boom ID.
They really are, and again, Boom is putting all their eggs onto this Spectre right now, but he's not going to be able to contribute too much just yet. He has the Haunt up, so if the defense does come out, he can just join in that way, but beyond that, they just have no way of stopping this push.
Tier 2 copying a fair bit of damage, but Mineski looks like they even want to pressure in that Tier 2 top tower instead. But no, they will go back into the mid. Kodo does show himself on the Pango, but they need some form of initiation apart from this Pangolier. While top lane is going to be pushed in by Raging Potato now as well. They can't stop this push. I mean, FBZ, he's trying with the Flame Break, but it doesn't matter. Tier 2 tower does fall very easily. Meanwhile, Fervian, he's pushing up that bot lane. He's getting close to that Sacred Relic, but it looks like Mineski, we're thinking about a play on him. Moon rotating around, and of course you see Raging Potato can TP anywhere across the map. But they'll leave Fervian be for the moment. Looks like they are interested in that Tier 2 mid tower, and now they do scout out Jokam and immediately jump in Moon. There is a Winter's Curse available, and Cold Embrace will keep Jokam alive, though they will not throw out the curse. And that'll mean a Tier 2 mid tower will end up going down as well now.
Yeah, you can't really expend the curse at this point to save your teammates. You're going to have to use it for that high ground defense. And you just really have no other tools to stave off that push once again.
I mean, what do you do here if you're Boom ID, though? You're so far behind. It looks like they are jumping onto Fervian as well. Moon, he found the Vortex once again. And, well, Fervian, he did pick up the Sacred Relic just before he died at the very least, but that is not great news.
Really isn't. I mean, he doesn't have buyback in case that defense needs to come out. At the very least, his respawn timer isn't the longest. Would have been really dreadful if he did get Reaper's Sight, but he wasn't. So he'll be back up soon enough. Really starting to see the issues on Boom's draft. It's that they have ways of defending, they just can't get that positioning right, and a lot of that is down to Jokam just being caught out a lot of times, and he again needs that blink up fast. It's 700 gold away, but it feels like it's way too far out.
They're gonna go for a smoke though. They have the lasso. If they can find a big target, it'd be nice. And they find Arjit, though he does have help around him. Ninja Boogie, in fact, going to be the target here for FBZ, though. Still no lasso. He goes after RG, but Magic Missile is there, and now Fervian. He'll jump in with the Horn. Rolling Thunder is nice. Cold Embrace, though, is there as well. Moon, he jumps in the back lines, and he's already found one. They are going after JoeCam next. He has the Echo and commits it, but it's not going to be enough. Makoto trying to make it back off, and he does get out, but they're going to go for Fervian instead. And that is the much better kill, and there's the Reaper Scythe. It will come out. 74 seconds on the Spectre now. Oh, that is terrible news for Mineski. Oh, excuse me, not for Mineski, for Boom ID. I mean, you talked about that Blink Dagger being needed by JoeCam. They went for a smoke when they knew he was so close. Raging now, though, will get caught out by FBZ, so that'll be a nice pickup for the side of Boom. But they might lose more if they stick around, because Moon, he's coming in. He goes straight after FBZ. Well, FBZ, he will pop the drums, though now KP's here. They are making the chase. He has nowhere to go. He doesn't have a TP left available, though. In fact, no, he does. So he will get Magic Missiled up. Kescute now, gonna get chased down. Raging Potato with the treants as well, keeping the vision up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They can't catch him without the mana on Moon, though. With the Sprout, it should be enough, and Kescute cannot survive that damage.
Yeah, and again, this just means Mineski can't keep that push going. Even when Fervian respawns, he's not going to have that haunt, so there's very little he can do in that next team fight, and he's still about 700, maybe 800 gold away from that Radiance. Without that, it's just not going to be able to contribute much at all to this defense.
Well, there's the Aegis expiring, but that'll give Moon all his HP and mana back. It's really what he wants, and now they jump on Fervian. The Spectre, he can't afford to die right now, but he has no choice in the matter. He's gone. Now Makoto, though, rolling in with that Rolling Thunder. Moon trying to find him. A nice swap is there, but they will not be able to find the kill, and now defense begins. Ninja Boogie, pretty tanky for a support. Vengeful Spirit, looks like he should end up falling, and now FBZ, he found the lasso. RG could not get the gust off in time, and well, with that, Moon, he still manages to get out in time. Makoto, though, is there. Nice Winter's Curse as well. He can swashbuckle for this kill on the Storm, but no, he zips away. It was a bit too late. Kescute, he goes down. Now the gust as well. They'll find Makoto. Moon is still alive throughout all this. Now the Reaper Scythe comes out from KP. They found FBZ as well. There's only essentially one buyback that was just expended from Makoto,
Radiant's bottom barracks.
and you aren't going to have any buybacks left after that. So if they find Makoto and the Earthshaker again, that'll pretty much be it. In fact, JoeCam, he does end up losing his life. The tips are coming out from Mineski. This could be the final defense from Boom ID. Moon, he knows it too. He wants to find that dieback on Makoto. They will get the bot racks. Looks like that'll be it for now, though. Moon thinking about jumping back in. Looks like Ninja Boogie already forcing in that mid lane, and they are going to go straight for another Rax, it looks like.
I mean, why not? Yeah, they still don't have the tools on Boom ID. You still don't have that Radiance up, you still don't have the Blink up. Oh, you have the Blink up in the Shaker, but is that going to be enough? We saw it last time as well in this same situation, where JoeCam gets that Blink at the mid defense, and it just doesn't really add too much.
Radiant's top shrine.
They are going to go for the shrines instead first. We'll find out in about a minute when Roshan's going to respawn.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
Good. Zipping straight down to Kescute. He ran out of mana. The Cold Embrace will be there. Moon, he has to be careful about this. Though Ninja Boogie as well, going after JoeCam. They commit the Winter's Curse just to try and keep Kescute alive. And now FBZ, he'll jump in with the lasso. The Radiance also being completed now on Fervian, but it isn't even going to be enough. Raging, he jumps in after Makoto. He'll find that kill as well. FBZ, he gets sprouted. He has no Firefly. He's down. That's 3 heroes with no buyback available. And there's the GG call. Mineski taking a very convincing game number 1 and 2. Fervian jumps in with the Horn. It doesn't even matter though. He just got the Radiance, but he's never even going to be able to use it.
Yeah, I mean, a really dominant start to finish for Mineski. 11 to 32, 19k net worth lead this time around for Mineski. Cleaning out the series 2-0, so unfortunately for Boom ID, they will go to that lower bracket, but Mineski gets to go up, have a smoother time at that upper bracket, and you know, it was a really dominant start to finish. Boom ID, it looked like they had better tools to get the job done this time, but again, they just don't manage to find those key early kills. They don't get that early aggression that they really need to secure themselves a good 4P1. And after that, it just fell apart.
Certainly did, John. And with that, I mean, we're going to have to wait for the next series to come up for the lower bracket. Of course, Mineski, they proceed to the upper bracket finals. Boom ID will be the first challenger in the lower bracket, though we do have to wait for either the power of MYSG plus AU or Team Adroit to lose their matchup before we get to see who their contender is. So we'll be back hopefully soon, though we do have to wait for the other series. Like I said, it'll be Boom ID versus somebody on this stream, so please do stick around. Hopefully it won't be too long. Of course, it is MLPDotA and johnxfire. If you do enjoy or you have any feedback, consider following and letting us know on Twitter at MLPDotA and at johnxfire. Otherwise, again, we'll try and keep you guys updated on how long the next series is going to be. We're right back.